Set Mode and Fault Type Part 1. Using options in Set Mode field and Set Mode and Fault Type part, the user can introduce certain parameters to software to test in analog output channels table and produce the device voltage and the current corresponding to them. The output values of device can be observed in Table View window. Considering test conditions, the state types of continuous, ramp, and harmonic are performed only in general direct mode. Additionally, considering power swing test conditions, state type tracking is performed in distance ZI constant mode. Note that, since in transient type the values and type of data are extracted from ComTrade files, set mode and fault type part does not exist. The set mode field can be put on different modes in the state types of a step ramp, quick and normal. In this field, we refer to general modes. Analog output channels table in general mode has signal, amplitude, phase, and frequency columns. General direct mode. In this mode, values of voltage signals and the output current of the device are directly determined by adjusting the phase values of voltage signals and the values of current signal lines in analog output channels table. In this mode, the frequency value can be determined in analog output channels table, but in other modes, the frequency value is obtained from test object. As it can be observed, values of analog output channels table have been directly entered in Table View window. General line-to-line mode. In this mode, the output signals values of the device are determined by adjusting the line-to-line values of voltage and current signals, as well as values of zero sequence voltage in analog output channels table. As it can be observed, the current values in analog output channels table have been directly entered into Table View window. By changing the zero sequence voltage to 5 voltage, the voltage value of each phase changes to 6 voltage in the first phase and the 4.583 voltage in other phases based on the defined relations. General symmetrical components mode. In this mode, by adjusting the value of voltage in positive, negative, and zero sequence current in analog output channels table, the values of device voltage and current signals corresponding to them are determined. In order to observe these changes, the negative sequence value changes to 5. According to mathematical relations, the value of the first phase and the other two phases was calculated to be 11 voltage and 4 voltage respectively. In addition, by changing the negative sequence current to 2 amperes, the output values of current changes to 2.391, 3.973, and 1.581 amperes respectively. General powers mode. In this mode, the values of device voltage and output current signals are determined by adjusting the phase value of voltage signals, apparent power, active power, and reactive power in analog output channels table. The 4th to 6th rows of apparent power are related to each phase, and the 7th row is the apparent row of 3 phases whose magnitude is determined in amplitude column and their angle is determined in phase column. Moreover, 8th to 10th rows are related to the active and reactive powers of each phase, and the 11th row is related to the active and reactive power of 3 phases. The active power value is determined in amplitude column and reactive power value is determined in phase column. As it can be observed, the voltage values in analog output channels table are directly entered into Table View window, and by changing the value of apparent power of 3 phases to 50 volt ampere in analog output channels table, the current values in the output change to 1.515 ampere in the first phase and 4.167 ampere in the other 2 phases. General fault values modes. In this mode, first the fault type is selected from the slider bar of fault type field, then in analog output channels table the values of fault voltage, fault current, and their angles are entered, and the values of device voltage signals and output current corresponding to them can be seen in Table View window. As single phase to ground fault is selected here, the values of device voltage and output current in that phase are considered to be equal to the value of fault voltage and current in analog output channels table.